Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Farm, thinking right out here in my lab. And I'm still in the book, teaching my meditative concepts how to free your mind. That's what next is going to be about today, to teach you how to actually free your mind by mastering three states of consciousness, aka we can be like Hermes Trismegistus, thrice on three levels of consciousness, knowing thyself at each level. That's the lesson about freeing the mind. Let's go. It's gonna be fun. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking. Mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers, know thyself and to Maya, be true. We're still dealing with the meditation aspect. And outside of just sitting and going to the meditative state, there's some things you need to practice on a daily basis and some things you need to study and learn for yourself to help to free one's mind. And each level you're supposed to master that state of consciousness. Let's talk about it. They say there is one more important point to realize about what the mastering of various states of consciousness. Many people believe that when something which they feel is positive, that's for the ego, when it occurs, then this means what? Happiness. Because the ego is happy at that time. So it's a peace and harmony, and have been achieved. Okay, here. And for example, people in general, they feel that when they experience some situation or acquire some object or situation which brings them what? Joy. Hey, I'm happy. That's the elation part. Okay. Remember, there's two sides. That this signifies happiness and is the goal of life. That's temporary. That joy from obtaining something, getting something new, being in something, relationship, whatever it is, that's just for that moment. It's temporary. Oh, it's going to wear off. Love, whatever you want to call it, is going to wear off. Why? Because it's not forever. Upon self-reflection, in the light of any yogic practice, the mystical philosophy of right thinking, it must be understood that both elation, the upside, and depression, the downside, happiness and anger, etc., all those are opposites that you're going to suffer back and forth, up and down. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. When you have happiness, true peace, you don't go up or down. You stay flatline. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. A mind that's at ease will be able to flatline. A mind that's agitated, unrest will not be able to calm down and flatline. I'm gonna read it to you. You'll find out. I'm trying to interject my understanding into the lesson as we go. So right here, those things make you happy, and they are both. Watch this. In reality, only two forms of the same concept of agitation of the mind. Is happy. That's the ego mind. The ego mind wants to be satisfied, and when it's not, it's going to let you know when it's not happy. Watch. Both of these are forms of ego agitation. Again, elation causes the form of the ego of distraction and it remains unrest. while anger and negativity also cause a form of what? Distraction and unrest. Depending how you use it, it's going to be a double-edged sword. You have to be smart enough and use it in the way it's intended for you to benefit. A dull state of mind is also a form of what? Distraction and unrest of the mind. An agitated mind, ignorant mind, it don't know from nothing. Okay, it's really not good. As you study, ignorant people won't do that. And you reflect on the teacher that you. Why study and don't practice what you learn or put what you learn to use? What's the purpose of learning it? That freaks me out. So as a teacher and a student, I learn to study so I can learn. I learn so I can teach. I can try it, what I'm learning, manifest it, and pass it on to somebody else. So before I give it to you, I gotta check it out. I always test it. I'm my own guinea pig. All right. So when you have reflection on the teaching that you're learning from our ancient mystical philosophy, it should become what? Increasingly clear to you that what most people consider to be true happiness and peace are in reality just more sources of what? Agitation, stress, and distraction from what? The real source of peace, which comes from within, not stuff from without. And most of us are happy without the stuff. What I give you is inner. You can't see it, but you can use it, manifest it, and improve yourself. But because it's not monetary or it's not physical, you don't understand it. That's not my problem. This is why our ancient Egyptian mystical philosophy, as well as the mystical philosophy from India, same concepts, there are an emphasis on what? The daily practice of what they call balance. Who's that? Maya. Okay. As the following Heka, meaning words of power. Explain ancient Egyptian spiritual scripture. Watch this. This is what they say. Creativity is the factor of harmony and inner peace. A mind at ease can create. The mind that's at peace can create. When there is a raging storm of emotions, the ego affects the mind. You got anxiety, you got tension that goes with right to the mind. So now the flow of inspiration from the transcendental self is now obstructed, blocked. Okay, I showed you before that block keeps the spiritual self from the physical self. Why? Due to ignorance. That's the bar that keeps them from connecting. Okay. And what's this? They call it obstructive. Therefore, to promote creativity in one's mind, it is necessary to what? Harmonize one's what? Life in every aspect, from the unconscious to the conscious to the subliminal. The subconscious. Again, every conscious area of yourself, you should be controlled of. You should have mastery of that. That's how the mind is controlled when you have it under total control. Hence, knowledge of self, self mastery. All activities that you do should be performed in what? In such a way that promotes what? Peace instead of tension within yourself. I'm only going to do what's pleasurable to me. I'm only going to do what I found the need and purpose to do. I'm not doing stuff that's going to cause me anxiety and tension and worrying about somebody catching me, cheating, sneaking around. I don't do that. This is why, what is this? Excuse me. In this way of life will allow your what? Inner self to what? To be able to guide your inner and your outer self. Because I'm God conscious, because I practice spiritual discipline, aka my philosophy, I'm only going to do what I see is right in God's sight. I'm not going to do something I know is wrong. Simple as that. Oh, you perfect. No, if you know right from wrong, that means you got to make the decision. When you make decisions that's based on what's best for you, it's never going to be a bad decision. Why? You're doing what's right. Simple. That's real easy for some of us. But this can only be achieved if there is constant what? Surrender of one's egoistic desires to the divine will by what? Permitting yourself to be directed by the teachings of yoga, aka right thinking philosophy. Hold yourself accountable to do what's right, and you will be the beneficiary of that action. Why? Because it's recognized by the all seeing. And when he see good deeds, He recognized it. Okay, bless him. Moving on. We get into the good stuff now. The preceding teachings speaks in volumes about what nature of the agitated mind. This is all about the mind. But the general message here is to beware of your environment and beware of your surroundings. I'm from the hood. I'm from the projects. I'm always my head on the swivel. Okay, I'm always observant. I'm always conscious of where I'm at, what's going on around me. That's just human nature. For I thought, I just natural harshness in your surroundings and your general environment can cause what negative stress, which could lead to an unsettled mind. Most ignorant people have an unsettled mind. Unenlightened people have a distracted mind. Those are two levels that you got to come past those to get to it. The lucid state of mind, where you're comfortable, you live in harmony within yourself, you're doing the right things, you're benefiting, you're living a blessed, what they call a blessed life. Okay, you're blessed out. You're happy with what, how you living. I just gave you a lesson. Happy to be happy with myself. If you're happy with yourself, then nothing else really matters. Do it. So that's the concept. And you only can reach there with what? With an unsettled mind. Here we go. We all remember this is all mental. So we're dealing with the mind. Stay with me. An unsettled mind is difficult to control. Just try to explain it to you. I'm telling you, this is what I know. A mind that is uncontrollable, ignorant, full of itself, egoistic, will have difficulty in what? Just concentrating, focusing in. They all over the place. They can't hold one thought for 2 seconds. You know the kind of people? You don't? Go look in the mirror. It could be you. Why? We all have that, and people exhibit it all the time. If you know what to see, you know what to look for. You see it all the time. I do. Ignorance, just run wild. Okay, they have these are qualities of an ignorant, low level, dull, conscious person. Poor concentration does not allow for what self-reflective. They don't look at nothing they do. They don't think about nothing they done. They just doing this going. Okay, self-reflecting is necessary. It's a necessary concept to make sense of one's what own situations and to gain intellectual understanding, learning from the situation. If it's good, you continue. If it's bad, you stop. In brain surgery, a non-reflective person confused or what I call wrong thinkers. Hello, thank you. I put this in there. I ain't got to say it. Wrong thinking. That means your mind will have constant difficulty trying to meditate. I know people who say they can't meditate. My mom says she can't. She had to take pills to go to sleep because she can't control her mind. She's not a meditator. Okay, some people just everybody can't do it. I understand. I know other people. I can't meditate. I sit there, I go to sleep. Yeah, well, you ain't meditating. So again, it's all about the mind. And when the mind in the dull state, it does one thing: fight, aggressive, and go to sleep. When it don't get its way, if it's bored, it's going to sleep. But it love confrontation. They constantly argue, bicker about something. Why? They ain't agree with nobody. Ignorance. A non-meditating mind will have difficulties in what? Being able to transcend the world of apparent dualities. It can't make good decisions. It's confused. It don't know. Hence, know thyself. Better decision makings every time. Knowing right from wrong and doing what's right. That's all you need to do. Knowing right from wrong and still doing wrong, you got to pay for that. Simple as that. Well, I didn't know. I did wrong. Okay, still got to pay for it. To make a difference. If you didn't know and did something good, you take the blessing, take the punishment that come with that also, and make better decisions. That's what life lessons is all about. Learning from it one way or another. Sorry. One will be endlessly, watch this, an ignorant person will be endlessly pulled into the world and the parent thoughts going on in their mind. They all over the place. They're always looking for a reason to what? Argue, have a fight, so they discontent whatever's going on. Ignorance. They not trying to learn nothing. They trying to listen to nothing. I tell you, a person who knows not and believe they do, dangerous. Avoid them. That's the people we learn right now. That's their mindset. As the mind, we go, this is all about the mind. I ain't gonna stop. As the mind will be caught up in what I call buffering, endless waves of what joys and sorrows. It will be unable to find peace, that medium, that flat line. That's what they're telling you. I'm trying to break it down for you, but I'm bringing it to you as I'm breaking it down. Hope I'm like my preacher. Read a little bit, preach a little bit. Teach a little bit, read a little bit. That's what I'm trying to get it done. So moving on. And whenever he does it, I took a page out of your lesson, brother, right? I was teaching. Yeah, you got to teach while you preach. I understand. That's what I come here for, to learn. I'm learning. As you teaching and preaching, I'm learning. I just want to teach. I don't do much preaching. All right. Some people may think of preaching, but I'm really close. Pop, you used to preach. No, I just try to make common sense, talk to you out the way I know. And that's what I mean by teaching. I ain't a preacher. And when a mind is caught up in endless ways of joys and sorrows, it will be unable to find peace. Why? A mind filled with too much joy. That means you way out there. Or too much sorrow. That means you don't went up too high. And the higher you go, the farther you're gonna fall. Conceptually. So why? Instead of doing that and doing this, just flatline. Just cruise. And due to your life experiences in this world, you will be equally what? Agitated mentally. And now you will have difficulty concentrating, calming down the mind. You go from one extreme joy to the other. It leads to the other one, pain. They go together, joy and pain. You got one, you're gonna have the other. You got night, you got to have day. You got good, you got to have bad. You see where we're going with this? That's what Maya represents. Duality. They're gonna be opposite. One's gonna be this, one's gonna be that. Let's go. Here we go. Where you at? And the concept, I didn't read this to you, but we had a phrase called the miserable Asiatics. Okay. That's the Asians who invaded Egypt. Didn't know about that? Yeah, they watch this. Let me break that down right quick. I didn't get out of that because I'll call that fluff. But the negative Asiatics who were constantly attacking Egypt during the time for several thousands of years before. And we know about them. So getting about this lesson, I had that lesson. I just went by that one, but I had a little phrase. I want to get that in. But they says the concept, let's talk about the concept of the miserable Asiatic, became known in Egypt as the concept of the land of the Haru and the land of who? Set. You are the miserable Asiatic. Your lower nation, that's your ego part, that's Set. Your higher nation, Haru, your goodness in you, the righteous part, that's Haru. We all have it. Okay? It's in us. Watch this. And since Set is the god of what? The desert. The Asiatics who dwelt in the desert land, Asia Minor, okay, part of Africa, became identified with Set, and therefore they practiced like Sodom and Gomorrah, Satanian behavior. Same thing, okay? They wasn't good people. They was impulsive. They were selfish. They were brutes. They were forced, etc. All negative things. That's what they was. Sodom and Gomorrah. They were so bad. They said God destroyed it. Why? He couldn't put up with their nonsense no more. God has a way of dealing with stuff that pisses him off, and that's one of them. But the concept with the ego and you inside you got to be the decision maker. You gotta make the better decision. Because if all you want to do is Zoom and all that, you living on your lower nature. Higher nature is spiritual concepts and mental understanding. And these teachings about the miserable Asiatics is a paramount, watch this, is of paramount importance because it's a purpose. Because it provides a better understanding of how what human mind becomes degraded and violent. The mind runs the body. The body, it ain't the, no, the mind runs the body. What the mind say, the body gonna do. Free your mind and the ass will follow. Why? It don't have a choice. That's the spirit. It gonna go where the mind say. A human being who is not nurtured, not enlightened, not compassionate, and who is constantly experiencing what? Stress because of their own ignorance and their own fetters will keep a distracted and negative character. You know the kind of people? Mad all the time, upset about everything, ain't never happy about nothing. Nothing's right, nothing's good, everything is wrong. They see the glass half full, half empty all the time. The pessimists, they don't see, no, they're not optimists, they're pessimists. Okay, subjective thinking. If it matches what they believe, it's good. Just tell you, that's the mindset of a what? A dull, conscious person, ignorant person. And life's pressures and because due to lack of what their own self-security and not knowing where their next meal may come from, and how to acquire and secure their own personal needs in life, those are people who end up homeless. And how to hold on to them, etc., does not allow what for inner peace and expansiveness of one's what inner self to manifest. You're not growing. You're stuck in your own growth, so to speak, mentally, spiritually, and consciously. All those are bad things. Okay, and a lot of us live through that over and over. I'm just trying to help you stop the cycle. And all of those worries and anxieties will cause a degradation in your human mind, wherein what? Now the concerns is not about working with others, but competing against them, with them for what? Food, material things, wealth, mates, etc. Everything is a competition. Dog eat dog work. I gotta get mine. I gotta beat them guy. I got to beat. That's the rat race they want you to stay in. I'm been out that rat race. I'm retired for years, so I don't get caught up in none of that nonsense. But living right, doing things you want, you just happy. I know a bunch of people who happy. They ain't trying to tell anybody like I'm doing. I don't know why I took this nonsense. All right, but yeah, it's a way of life that you can manifest for yourself. That's all. This purpose. There's a purpose for human life. Okay, the purpose of human existence. I underline this for a purpose. I want to get this out. The purpose of human existence, spiritual beings having human experience, and the purpose is to provide a means for your soul to have what? This human experience, for it to grow in awareness, what? To know itself as being what? One with the creator, aka God. That's my goal, to get the right things, to have that mindset. This feeling leads to what we call blissful, supreme good, satisfying, and universal. You feel good about yourself. You are on point with everything you're doing in your life. You have total control. So you are one with the universe. Synchronicity. Things just fall your way. Things just work out for you. I live like that every day. I put myself in that position. You could too. Just do the things that I tell you to do, and it'll work for you. And when the soul in a human being, the spirit from God, that's what it is being not, when the soul in a human being is not allowed to express itself in this manner. Why? Because the ego in all human beings is in control. Try to explain to you, your ego is who you are, and that's fine to identify, but it's not fine to lead you. Why? It don't know nothing other than itself. It's not God conscious. Spiritual beings need to become conscious of who? Themselves. God. We are human beings, and thinking or forgetting we're God, we think we're human. So we limit ourselves, we dumb ourselves down, and then what? We had to reincarnate because why? We don't know ourselves. Self-knowledge, self-mastery is doing the things you need to do to make that connection possible. This is what I've been trying to get you to understand, and I'm still there. And watch this. Your ego is in human being, is in control. And this egoism fosters feelings of personal desires, separation, and animosity to what? Anything which prevents the ego self from getting what it wants. It wants what it wants, when it wants, how it wants, and nothing else. That's the ego self. You know people like that? Giving people what they want, when they want it what? All the time. It ain't never gonna be satisfied. You can't give the people what they want when they want it. Why? Because you never stop. If you're a giver, you would know some people you gotta stop. Why? They just gonna keep taking. If you give them what they need, I'm giving you the truth. They don't want that. I'm teaching what nobody wants to learn. What? The truth? Don't care. That's what I do for you. For those who do, that's what I'm here for. The rest of y'all can care less. Wow, you don't care about me. I don't care about you. 50-50 shot. I'm good with that. But the whole goal in life is to what? Know who the hell you are. Why? Go back home. The spirit is on loan. The human experience is to come here, learn something, to go back home. And the only way that can happen is you become conscious in the physical form of who you really are. Remembering thyself. I could say knowing thyself, but my study keeps telling me memory for what? I keep saying, but the conscious is universal. The physical body is pretty much the same, but the conscious can't be predicted. Why? It's fresh and new every time. It's disposable. We don't keep the conscious. When the brain, from the future, your brain only works in the physical form. Once the physical body died, the brain got no use. This heart still keeps what? Memories and records. That's the concept. This just keep memory while you're here. Okay, you can use it now, but after death, this does no good. That's why you want to do this, purify the heart, but you also got to get the brain, the mind to what? Be coherence with the heart, become one with the heart. And this is the source of what most animosity, enmity, anger, hatred, and violence within all humans experience. If you're egoistic, those are qualities that you're going to exhibit. Not righteous, not virtuous, not integrity. Those are good qualities of your higher self. Your lower self exhibit satanic qualities. Again, spiritual practice of spiritual disciplines daily will lead a human being to what? Discover a deeper essence of their life. True spiritual understanding, knowledge of self, knowing who you are, will allow you, the person, to now understand where what? True happiness and peace are to be found. It shows you that security cannot be found. What? Security cannot be found in the world. There you go. But in that which sustains it, that's the spirit, that's the hidden essence of all things that we have in us. We need to know that for ourselves. The ancient Egyptian, I'm about to take it in. I see the clock. I'm getting it in best I could. The ancient Egyptian teaching presented above are echoed in the ancient Hindu scripture. They had their philosophy. Watch this, known as the Bhagavad Gita. Again, another book. What? Basic instruction before leaving Earth. They give you understanding the blueprint how to get off the matrix, off the cycle of reincarnation. So they give you lessons about God. The Bhagavad Gita, in which their Lord Krishna instructs his disciple Arjuna, the number one yogi. This particular verse comes out from the chapter of the practice of meditation. Again, they had their practices. Number 32, verse 32. Arjuna, the yogi who sees the likeness in himself, also in all, and thus maintains what they call equal vision in pleasure and pain. Flatline. He don't go up or down. He keeps flatline. And from the verse where it says here, pleasure and pain, he is considered to be the highest yogi. Why? He don't let emotions dictate his actions or how he do whatever he do. I feel the same way. That's why I got it from my doctor of philosophy that my emotions, I'm dispassionate about everything. Why? I ain't gonna get emotional. No, I see that for other stuff. But Arjuna then asked about the way in which the mind can be controlled. How can I control my mind? In China, they said the Tao. What? That's the way. Say, how do I suffer? Because you desire. How can I control my mind not to desire? Reach the level of highest level of yogi where pain or sorrow don't bother you. You flatline. That's how. Practice it. Arjuna asked, "Oh Krishna, so I do not see how it's possible to maintain a steady state of yoga equanimity, which you have taught. God consciousness. I'm staying focused all the time. I got my mind on God and got my mind, God on my mind all the time. The mind is ever so restless. Not if you got it under control. A restless mind is an uncontrolled mind. An unenlightened mind is a restless mind, distracted mind. All those things are what when you don't have mastery of your mind. Okay. Verily, O Krishna, he said, the mind is fickle, okay, impetus and turbulent. To me, it seems more difficult to control the mind than it is to control the wind. You can't do nothing. Nothing. The wind is there. Okay? Understand that? The mind is inside. It only gets information from the senses of the body. It only can hear, okay? Sense, hear, see, taste, touch, and smell what's going on in the physical world. But when it comes to thinking, the mind has a whole other agenda. And if it's led by the ego and not intellect and knowledge, it's going to make a bunch of mistakes. Again, in the Bhagavad Gita, watch this. It says 35. It says, Lord Krishna said, yes, indeed the mind is restless. And yes, it's difficult to control. But, that's the part right there. It can be brought under control by who? By you. And that's the exercise of what? Repeated effort and concentrating on dispassion. Don't get caught up emotionally. Whatever it is, don't get your emotions involved. 36, it says, but it is my opinion that yoga is difficult for anyone who is what? Lacking self-control. If your will power, your desire to do and be is weak, you're going to suffer addiction. You're going to not understand things that you need to do for yourself. Why? Because you're weak will. Your will got to be strong. And you lack in self-control. But it can be attained by who? By one who has mastered what? His lower self and learn to adapt the proper means, aka following right thing philosophy or Maya philosophy. And by doing those things, that's what happens. Right here, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go on. These instructions, okay, and when they practice, will bring out the most important teachings in reference to what you understanding and being able to controlling your mind. The goal is to get you to control that thing on your shoulders. Many people come discouraged, what, early in their spiritual practice. Why? Because they do not obtain discernible results within a short period of time. It don't happen overnight. I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. Sometimes they'll what? They'll try many different techniques. They'll try this without giving anyone of them sufficient time to work. In essence, quick example is like digging for a water to make a well, but without going deep enough. You dig what? What they say happen? You appear to dig a few feet deep and don't hit nothing. Let me try it over here. You go do the same thing. You keep digging holes, and after the hole, one after another, or 2 feet, stop and begin another hole. You didn't going deep enough. That's the thing. Go deeper until you strike it. If that's what you're going for, don't go a little bit and say, keep going till you hit something. Maybe you get China. Remember back then, you dig deeper, you're going to end up in China. So, yeah. But how here, he or she would not find any water. That means you're not going to get no results. You're not going to be able to get your well. Why? You ain't doing the things you need to do for that to happen. That's what they're telling you. The mind only works when you want to get it off the track that it's on. If it's on the wrong track, it don't know to get itself off. You got to change it. And in spiritual practice, as any other human endeavor, you sustain your daily sustained practice, meaning repeated effort by you, is the key to success. You are the key to success or failure. Okay, understand that. But in spiritual practices, every single time you turn your mind towards God, you are actually creating what they call a higher mental impression. You're getting closer and closer to God consciously. Eventually, these positive impressions and the actions that follow will overpower what? The negative impressions. Good will beat out bad of what? Ignorance. Intellect will always supersede ignorance. You have ignorance, you have anger, you got hatred, you got greed. Those are all what? Low level qualities of the individual that we're trying to eradicate. Why? Out the mind, because a bad state of mind, bad thinking leads to bad actions. This occurs even when there is no discernible benefit. Just doing it for the hell of it. Why you do that? Well, because I could. No purpose, no rhyme or reason. So therefore, even though you may not see immediate results, you should contain, continue to practice your spiritual disciplines when regularly, daily, and do it with faith and belief that what I'm doing has an end. It's going to be beneficial to me. Also, it is important to practice dispassion. Again, take your emotion out of it and detachment from the situation. These are things that once you do those things, you can deal with it for what it is. And from your worldly objects, don't get caught up in loving the world. Don't get caught up in having to have something of the physical world and trying to fulfill your worldly desires. If these points are not practiced along with your formal meditation efforts, you will have what? Little success, if any, a very slow success in meditation. It won't work for you. And you're going to see, well, it ain't working. Yeah, because you ain't doing things you need to do to make it work. It's on you. Wrapping it up. This is called a witnessing consciousness. I tell you all the time, Amun is the witness, the ultimate, the casual plane that you go to in that deep sleep that you go hang out with him, but you just don't know it. Let me wrap this up for you. That's the concept right now. In ancient Egypt, the level of consciousness was known as mystical experience. In religion, same thing, the mystical experience. Okay, you got to have that experience. Why? Becoming one with God, knowing God here. And your cosmic awareness, which is spiritual enlightenment, knowing you and God are one here, was also what he called it, Amun. Okay, why? He's the witness, the watcher, and he's understanding that the watching, the witnessing consciousness, God is hidden spirit and consciousness. Once the body gets conscious of who it really is, this achieve a higher level of what expression in the ancient Egyptian, even in the hymns to Amun, in the teachings of the ancient Egyptian Trinity of Amen Ra Ptah. Amun mean hidden, not so more to be. Okay, but the line below from the hymns of Amun will explain the nature of what we call the witnessing consciousness. He, the one watcher, whose neither slumbers nor sleep, this eye don't close. Just like my feather, don't waver, don't bend. That's the eye the same way, all seeing and all balance. That's awareness and spirit come together. The Trinity, the virtue we call them, who is Amen Ra Ptah of the ancient Egypt, refers to the three states of consciousness and that which transcends them. Amun, the self, hidden, is the hidden essence of all things. I tell you that earlier. The sun, that's Ra, and that is the radiant and dynamic outward appearance made manifest in the light of cosmic consciousness. Let there be Ra. In this aspect, Ptah represents us in the physical world, the solidification of the projection of consciousness, Amun, made manifest, created himself from uttering words of power. The triad also has a reference to what? States of consciousness. Again, they all tie in to the human being. The triad refers to the subject or the seer, the object or that which is seen, and the interaction between the two. Do, 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 do. Who's the common factor of Sar? Okay, I said that's the three. Again, Trinity got to have three things. And in Trinity. But in all human experience, there is always a subject, three things, object, and interaction relationship going on, occurring at all times. Okay? There is true. This is true in the waking state as well as the dream states, but the seer is Amun. That which is seen is Ptah, and the interaction medium is what? Sight is represented by that thing in the sky we call Ra. They are in reality all projections or emanations of the transcendental underlying consciousness that we know to be God, or we call him Nabercha. Just as the subject, object, and interaction consciousness, I'm taking it home, is of the dream, is unreal. The dreams are not real. I just tell you, that's it. And for you dreamers, reality is a real mother for you. The subject, the object, and the interaction consciousness, that's a trinity of God, of the waking state, as well as the unreal and the illusory, even though the phenomenal world experienced in the waking state appears to be abiding and solid, but modern science and physics have proven that is not so. These new findings of science confirm the teachings of our ancient Egyptian yoga philosophy. Y'all got machines to do it now. We didn't have that luxury. We did it from knowledge. But the Vedanta and the yoga philosophy of India, also the Buddhism in India, and the Taoism in China, as well as other mystical philosophy from around the world. Everybody had the concept of the Trinity of God or Nirvana from a different perspective, but it's still the Trinity. Amen, hidden, Ra, seen, Ptah, manifest in the flesh. That's us. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it took a little while, but this was a good one. Hope you like it. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 miles a day. So I've known none of my right thinkers have passed away. Know thyself is to get to the next level. Practice, control one's mind.